welcome to the abyss that is my eternal loneliness. I'm doing a recap of Season 3 of My Hero Academia. Recap meaning there will be spoilers. You have been warned. I'm reading from a thingy. And go! The first episode back is a pool episode. Stan on Anime Brand. Turned into a competition because, of course, them boys is too competitive. The kids go to a training camp in the woods to improve their skills under the pro team, the Wild Wild Pussycats. They're actually really tough, like deceptively tough, given they're the Wild Wild Pussycats. They make the kids train all day, then go home and make their own dinner. Harsh. Midoriya meets one of the Pussycats' nephews, Kota, who hates heroes because his parents were pros and died at the hands of Muscular, a villain. The League of Villains show up, specifically Dabi, Toga, Twice, Muscular, Mr. Compress, and a bunch of others, and they wreak havoc like it's crazy. As does Dark Shadow. I guess he went full revelry in the dark. In the end, the League takes one of the Wild Wild Pussycats and Bakugo hostage. Deku really blames himself for Bakugo getting taken, as he was inches away from him before Kurogiri's portal closed. Deku fought hard, though. Too hard. He did serious permanent damage to his body, specifically his arms. The doctor says that if he is to do like 2 to 3 more smashes, he will likely lose all mobility in his arms. Like, all mobility. That's crazy. Despite that, Midoriya, Todoroki, Momo, Ida, and Bakugo's new bestie, Kirishima, go on a rescue mission. And I love their disguises. So fun. Little do they know, at the same time, the pro heroes are already moving in on the villains too. However, there are actually 2 locations the villains are at. There's a bar-looking place where Shigaraki and all the League of Villains are, with Bakugo, who is pissed and not having any of their attempts to recruit him. The other location is where All For One is, with all of the no moves that he's been making and the Wild Wild Pussycat that they abducted. The pros hit both places, and at first it kind of seems like they're failing. The League of Villains, specifically Shigaraki and Bakugo, are transported to All For One's location, where all the pros were knocked out. All Might gets there fast. He sees his arch rival, the creator of his quirk, the man who gave him the severe injury 5 years ago. All For One. All For One and All Might battle. It takes every ounce of One For All that All Might has left in him to take down All For One with the United States of Smash. It's an epic battle and ends with a deflated All Might being broadcast on the news with his fist up in victory. He's done as a pro hero for good, but he points to the camera and says, "It's your turn," to Midoriya, but people think it's just kind of a message for the next generation of pro heroes and villains out there. The kids who went to save Bakugo do end up rescuing him without fighting anyone, though they do get in trouble still at school. To protect the students and save face for the school, Principal Nezu decides to have the students move into dorms and live at UA. So that happens. To alleviate the tension, there's a room decorating contest. Rikudu wins. Yeah, Rikudu wins because he makes delicious cake, and honestly, that just seems fair. I would vote for the good cake too. Uraraka asks Ida, Midoriya, Kirishima, Momo, and Todoroki to come outside. Sue wants to talk to them. She tried to dissuade them from going to rescue Bakugo. She actually had a really good, speech, but I don't think she had a good point. We're all still in shock over Bakugo's kidnapping. So we have to think about this calmly. It doesn't matter how righteous our feelings are. If we start another fight, if we break the law, then we're no better than the villains. Okay, yeah, so that's some dumb logic. But, she feels really badly, and she's seeing everyone laughing and hanging out, but she feels like her friends betrayed her, but also she simultaneously feels like she failed them. At the end, they all decide to just be friends again, and it's honestly really, really heartwarming. The next order of business is for the students to get their provisional hero licenses. To prepare, the students from class 1A all work on either their ultimate move or just a new move. Midoriya needs to reconsider how he's using One for All because he's still really not getting a good grip on it and he's really hurting himself. He realizes kicking would be a much better way for him to use the power, even though All Might always uses punches. And he has Hatsume, aka Support Girl, make some alterations to his costume to help him, and he's actually becoming a little Bamf. Everyone in Class 1A passes but Bakugo and Todoroki. Bakugo is honestly just way too mean when he's rescuing people. Meanwhile, another student from a different school hates Endeavor and he took it out on Todoroki while they're taking the test. And Todoroki's dealing with some personal issues, so he didn't really handle the situation very well and ended up failing because of that. So, damn. During the exam, we do see the class of 1A working really well together and honestly just shining. And it's so heartwarming, and Oyama really got a chance to twinkle, and I'm just here for that. Later one night, Bakugo and Midoriya go out to the training ground to fight. Bakugo realizes Midoriya has All Might's power, and he's pissed or bitter, both. I don't know. He's Bakugo. Bakugo finally breaks down and opens up to Midoriya. He feels really guilty, and he blames himself for All Might losing his power, since he was kidnapped and All Might lost it saving him. Midoriya isn't the only one that was fanboying over All Might all these years. A lot of these kids really idolized him. So, yeah, they fight. I mean, they go all out. Midoriya straight up turns into a green lightning ballerina. But for as much emotion Bakugo always has, and as much raw power and rage he goes into a battle with, Bakugo really is very strategic, intelligent, and talented. Bakugo wins. He defeats Midoriya, and then All Might shows up and talks to them both. And again, All Might is such a great hero in person, and he really helps both of them. And it's heartwarming. The season ends with Class 1A learning that they will all do work studies from UA's Big Three. The shy Amajiki, the socially inappropriate Hado, and the adorable, ridiculously upbeat All Might lookalike Mirio Tagata. Mirio battles all 20 students in Class 1A and takes them all down. Power! His quirk is permeation, and it's actually only a good quirk to have because he worked really hard to make it that way. Otherwise, it's kind of a crappy quirk. Twice, one of the villains brings Overhaul, a villain in the Yakuza, to meet Shigaraki. Overhaul wants the League of Villains to join him. In his pitch, Shigaraki would be under him because Shigaraki doesn't really know what he's doing. Overhaul totally calls him out. A goal without a plan is just a dream. Ouch. We also learn from Gran Torino that Shigaraki is the grandson of Nanashimaru, the seventh user of One for All Might's mentor, and that really messes him up. Thus concludes Season 3 of My Hero Academia. Stay tuned for Season 4.